This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the RPG Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is host Strip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our video podcast over on youtube.com/DripGeeb. Drip, how are you doing this week? This is the last podcast before we get to play and get our hands on Tears of the Kingdom. How excited?
Dude, I'm stupidly excited. Like, what we found out today, we're going to get into that. But dude, I literally stood up. I was still in bed. Slept in a little bit this morning. Well, I wasn't sleeping. I was watching Ted Lasso, actually. That's what I was doing. I try to watch those shows in the morning just so I can get on the internet and not be spoiled by things. So
you have a problem with that, don't you? I can avoid stuff.
I mean, I can avoid it. It just always seems to happen. I don't know.
Because you're like Autumn.
So, my phone, vibrated. I picked it up and looked at it, and it was Nintendo. And I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I started looking, and I was like, "I'll look at it later." And I didn't look at. I was finished watching the show. And it was just about over, and I picked it up, and I think it was Shibby. He said something in Discord. He put a little spoiler thing, and I was like, I'm clicking on this for sure.
Yeah, and you wonder why you have a problem with these things.
And then I was like, oh my God. Dungeons confirmed. Holy shit. Dude, I lost my mind. I was like,
okay, so before
actually losing my mind.
So let's back this up a second. You kind of
we're not going there yet. We're not going there yet.
But you did. You hit the punchline. So before I want to say this, guys, this is not spoilers. If you're afraid, I know there's plenty of people out there really trying to avoid these spoilers. This is not going to be a spoiler thing. This was something that Nintendo posted on their website. This is today. It's a legit thing. It's not a leak. It's not a rumor. It's Nintendo posts this on their website, and we'll get to exactly what that means. Dungeons and Tears King. We'll get to that in a minute. Because they did say there were dungeons, they said they're in there, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's what you think. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit later. And again, no spoilers in this episode. Drip looked at the leaks. I did not, and I'm not going to be talking about anything. And I'm
not talking about anything with the leaks.
Promise to not talk about it. So we're not a leaky podcast. I didn't
know that. I looked at some stuff. I didn't know that. So
right, and nobody did apparently. So yeah, we'll get to the episode now because we're doing it. I lost my train of thought, but Drip, literally within, I would say, I'm not going to say, I will say it, in like 28 hours from now, we'll be playing this game in our hands right now. If you guys are listening to this podcast after the recording, obviously, it's already out. You guys have already been playing this game for a few hours at this point. Although I'm gonna get this episode up in the morning tomorrow. But anyway, by the time you listen to this episode, you're gonna be playing Tears of the Kingdom. By the time I listen to this episode back, it's gonna be Tears of the Kingdom time. I cannot wait. And we got some stuff to talk about tonight, Drip.
We have a ton. That's the funny thing about this. So, in case you guys don't realize this, we're recording this on a Wednesday. Those of you who are here do, but
that's right.
Listening later, you don't. We did that because there's stuff going on tomorrow night. There's the treehouse. We wanted to do the little treehouse thing, the podcast tonight. We all, Geeb's going on the mission to GameStop.
We're gonna try. Whatever. Mrs. Geeb really wants that collector's edition, and I would very much like her to have it. So we're gonna go on a mission tomorrow, see if we can get one at GameStop for their midnight release, because they said they're gonna be able to sell them that night. And then we're also gonna, if that fails, we're gonna go to Target. Because Target said they're going to have some on hand. They said in their thing, the thing they send out, the coupon stuff. They said they're going to have some in store on release day.
The point of us doing this tonight is we were kind of both like, we're going to talk about Zelda, but it's not, we're not really going to have a ton to talk about. There's not going to be like any new news. We're so close to the release date. Yet this entire week, it's been huge thing after huge thing after, two really big things.
Yeah.
But I did not expect this. Our entire episode tonight was going to be what? tier lists. We're just
Literally, we were gonna just have some fun.
Basically, we were just gonna fuck off. Yeah,
we were just gonna have some fun and do some tier lists and like because there's nothing to be talked. There's nothing to talk about. Wait, the game comes out the next night.
Yeah.
No, that changed big time. And actually, we'll start a couple days ago, Drip. A couple days ago. I'm not really sure where this came out of. I think just people just started posting on screenshots of, hey guys, look at your Switch. If you've loaded Tears of the Kingdom, go ahead and take a look. It's now on version 1.1. And that's really interesting because the game hasn't been released yet, obviously. And that means there's already been a patch for the game.
Yeah.
Update.
So like your copy that you get isn't even relevant anymore. My digital copy though, is it's good. Good to go.
Yeah, we're not talking about that, you jerk. I also have a digital copy. We're gonna have two copies of this
whatever.
game. So
you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be a dick. But, okay, yeah. So then we got this update. It doesn't really say what it is, and I think this is where people were talking about this on YouTube. I think Nintendo Prime said something about this, and it was kind of like, okay, but that's crazy if that's real. But I did watch a video yesterday. I saw it a few different places. People who are playing this game with the patch confirm that there is the what is it called? FSR1. So that is in this game now, and it came with this patch, which is crazy. And I want to go a little bit more into like how we know this is actually real. I mean, like him or don't. RGT said, I watched the video. He said, I know somebody who's playing the game right now with it's real. It is there. Yeah. I can confirm it. Trust this source. I don't really see him saying a lot of things like that on the internet that aren't true. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and believe it. Yeah. But I mean, it was talked about other places too before that. I mean, he confirmed it for himself. But if you don't know what this FSR1 stuff is,
and why you should
basically care. You should this is why you should care. This is basically AI upscaling. So this is going to allow the game underneath to run at a lower resolution so that it's not putting stress on the hardware. Is that a correct way to say that? Okay.
I mean, to my knowledge, is exactly right.
Okay, so then this AI upscales it and helps. So you're going to have better frame rates. You're going to have a better overall vision. Like this game's probably going to look a lot, from what these people are saying who've already played it, it looks better. It's a noticeable difference of what they were playing before.
Right, and then let's talk about that for a second, because what they were playing before without this patch, we could see it from the gameplay that Nintendo posted, that 10 minutes of gameplay.
Oh yeah, frame rate issues for sure.
There are absolutely frame rate issues in Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think they're going anywhere too. I do think we're going to have frame rate issues in the game. There's no doubt in my mind that there will be issues with frame. Now, is that going to be a big deal, or is it going to be a very minor deal? Like, let's just say Breath of the Wild, after all its updates, because there's still areas in Breath of the Wild to this day that have issues, and I believe Tears of the Kingdom will be the exact same. There's no way that it won't, right? Because it can't be any better than it can't be that much better than Breath of the Wild, because it's still running on the same hardware. And yes, they have more time and everything, but there's more in this game, as we know, Drip, from what you told me about some of the leaks and from we've just seen from Nintendo themselves. There's a lot more in this game than Breath of the Wild. I'm not going to say anything. There's a lot in this game. So to that point, it really can't be, there's no way that this game is going to run like you might hear, AI upscaling, so we're going to get 1080p 60, right? No. I mean, we're going to it's probably going to run 720 handheld 30-ish frames with this FSR1, and without it probably ran 30 frames, but it was variable. It was probably dipping a lot in lots of areas. And this FSR1 is basically going to tighten up those areas that had that dip in frame rate. Maybe it's not 20 frames or 15 frames, maybe it's more like 25. It's still not going to hit that 30 in those areas, but it's going to help. That's the key.
I mean, let me ask you this: are you upset with that?
No, because that's Breath of the Wild. The Breath of the Wild exists, and no, I'm not. Breath of the Wild's performance is perfect. Is fine. It's fine.
It's
for
fine.
Me.
It's not perfect, but it's fine. I mean, and there's only we know the spots in Breath of the Wild. Yeah, the Korok 4. I mean, you know the spots, but then sometimes when you're really when you're really getting it in, you got a bunch of enemies around you. You're blowing some shit up. I mean,
yep. Oh,
things get a little
anytime
hairy
there's
there
fire,
too,
when you light things on fire, like the tower that you light on fire, like frame rates drop because all that shrubbery on the tower, all the spikes are getting.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, that's just like, you know, I don't know. You notice like a lot of places. I know when I play like Red Dead Redemption 2 on my Steam Deck, when you get near water, the way I have it set up, when you get near water, the frame rate drops. But I know Dude's a Monster he said Jedi Fallen Order same way. Like when you get around water, like it just drops. I mean, things like that. When there's a lot of stuff going on, it happens. But I do wonder this. I do wonder how far from where it started to where it will be when we play it. Like, I want to know what that gap is. Like, what is it actually making up? What can something like this do? Especially, this is what I don't understand. And you know, I'm not that guy. I'm not PC technology. Look at, you know, I know my shit about what I know. But when it comes to AI upscaling and how that works, no, I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah,
I am very confused on how they put this in afterwards. Because I know games like Switch Sports has this. It has the FSR1 stuff in it.
Yeah.
Which that game looks incredible. Obviously, no issues with frame rate in that game whatsoever. A lot simpler game.
Yes.
But it does what it's supposed to do. And I think it's in some other, I'm not sure what other games. I want to say Splatoon 3, but I think I'm wrong. I don't know which ones it's in, but it's
I think Splatoon uses something different. I think there's AMD tech in Splatoon, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would love to know how this works. Maybe I'll actually learn how this works.
I'll kind of let me kind of
everybody
expand.
Else.
Yeah, let me expand on what you're getting at there. I think it's interesting. I think it's confusing. Actually, the word it's confusing that they wasn't just implemented from the start.
It's weird.
You know, why would there be like why did they run it back? Why did they take it away from when they made it during the time period where we could preload the game? It wasn't there, right? It's not it wasn't like they started working on it yesterday. You know, obviously this is something that they've been working on for a while.
It's like that's been pulled away and then
wasn't
brought
ready
back
yet.
In.
So why wasn't it ready? I mean, I guess that's more of a simple answer than I make it seem. Like maybe it just simply wasn't ready yet.
Think about it.
They finally did get it ready for this release just after the preloads already started.
But you have to remember this too. These people aren't just willy-nilly in here working on this stuff like, oh no, we gotta like how I work. Like, oh, let me find this. I worked on this. No, there's a schedule. There's a timeline. Yeah. And as long as they are meeting that timeline, then the week of the release, it's fine.
Yeah.
This is where our timeline's at. It'll be done. You know, maybe it was done last week. All the checks, everything's good, whatever. Throw it in the update, ready to go. So, I mean, this could have been playing. I mean, clearly it was playing the whole time. But, I mean, it is wild to think. I don't understand how it works enough to really dive into this deep. But I'm really glad it's there.
Yeah, me
that was
too.
one of my biggest fears about this game is that it was just going to run really, really bad.
And I hate to be the guy who's like, but it still could. But it still could, Drip. It still could run pretty bad. I mean, I think we kind of have to prepare ourselves for that.
I'm okay with
as amazing as this game is and how cool it is that they put this patch in before the game ever comes out. As cool as that stuff is, and the game's going to make up for a whole lot of it. The game's going to make up for a lot of the issues that it's going to have. But I will say this. We have to start preparing ourselves that maybe even with this update, we're going to have pretty mediocre performance in a lot of places. I mean, it's just something that I've already accepted it. I'm
not accepting that. I don't think that's going to be the case.
You're going to make yourself very upset if you don't accept it.
I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Its expectation is the thief of joy.
Oh,
and if you expect this game to run perfectly because of this AI,
no, I don't.
Well, okay, so why aren't you accepting this? You sounds like you do accept this game.
You said you expect this game to have a whole lot of problems.
That's not what I said. I said I expect this game to run mediocrely in some areas.
Yeah, okay.
Well, how is that?
I think it's going to run fine in most areas. That's what I'm looking at. Maybe I just kind of word it a little more positively than you do.
I'm not wording it negatively. I'm wording it realistically.
It to run fine.
Because Breath of the Wild runs.
I'm not saying perfect. I'm not saying perfect.
Would you say that Breath of the Wild runs mediocre in certain areas? Is that a negative comment, or is that just a factual,
I would say Breath of the Wild runs fine in most areas.
So the Korok Forest is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
That would be one of those areas where it does not run fine.
So it doesn't run fine in that area then. You can't say it runs fine, but then say it doesn't run fine. You can't say, you're saying both things.
In most areas. That's what you said too.
I'm going to slap you, okay? Come here.
In most areas, it runs fine. I could go most places.
And in some areas, it runs mediocrely. Like in the Korok Forest where it does not run fine.
Yes, that would be one of those places where it does not run fine, correct.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all I'm trying. I'm not.
But in most places.
You make this so difficult.
In most places, it runs fine. It runs fine. And if this game runs fine in most places, I'm good with it. I mean, I know it's not going to be perfect.
I would actually jump out. You're actually undercutting Breath of the Wild. I would say in most places, it runs better than fine. In most places, it's acceptable. It's because fine would be below acceptable. I think acceptable is like, because a step above acceptable would be exceptional. And I feel like it's not exceptional. It's in most places acceptable, and in some places it's fine. We're getting
into the weeds here, but I would say if I'm saying something is fine, then I am okay with it. That's fine. That's fine.
Let's move off of this because it's not about Breath of the Wild. It's about Tears of the Kingdom, and I believe this game is going to...
fine and acceptable both mean average. Thank you very much. It's fine. Let's move on.
Moving on, but not really fully moving on. FSR is going to change the game. Tears of the Kingdom is there. People have already been reporting, anonymously, that it is changing the game to make it have a more positive experience, and that's what I expect. I expect to have an even more positive experience than I kind of expected before hearing about this.
Right, and it's just great that we see them doing it before the game comes out. The game that hasn't even been released. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, has a performance update before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, dude, you know I was already going there. You know I was already going to get there.
It's just, it's nice to see.
We are 6, and what's funny too, because my guy Arlo, he already posted he just now posted his Pokemon review, Violet and Scarlet, and He's I don't know. I'll let you guys. It's a 2-hour video. If you know Arlo's videos,
I saw it pop up.
If you know Arlo, he goes way hard on everything. Yeah, and I love that. And I watched about probably 45 minutes of his Pokemon review. He and I share very similar experiences.
Just loved it, but God, it sucks.
Yes. Yes, we loved it, but God, it sucks. There's this 2-hour video summed up in a sentence.
I love this, but it sucks really bad.
Yeah, and it's such a disappointment. This podcast is not about Pokemon, but it's such a disappointment that it's 6 months into the game already in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they acknowledge the performance was bad, but yet still haven't put out a performance patch. And before Tears of the Kingdom ever releases, we've already releases, we're already getting a performance patch.
Now let me ask you this: you think it's the last one? Because I bet it's not.
No, I don't. I don't. I want to talk
about.
I do want to talk about this patch though for a second because there's actually something that was more confirmed than FSR 1. I don't know how to put that. Something that the main intention of this performance patch was not a performance patch. That's what I mean. It's not a performance patch. It's actually a patch to fix up some glitches apparently that were happening, which is fine. It's going to happen with games. There's some areas where they were glitching. Oh, Drip, you're totally right. I see that what you just said to me. But yeah, so there were some areas in the main point of the I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. The main point of this patch was to fix
glitches.
Yes, was
to
fix
that were
glitches.
Happening in Scarlet
and oh by the way, they're putting FSR 1 and fixing some performance areas. So while it's not a true performance patch focused solely on performance, it's fixing some areas. They just dropped it in there. The mainly issue is to fix some glitches. That's also good to see, which Violet and Scarlet of making the list this long.
Still can't do that.
As long as the Hulk's schlong list long of performance patches. Or I'm sorry, of glitches and that they're fixing. Anyway, we've gone off the rails already.
Yeah, that whole image in my head now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Drip brings up a really good point to me privately is that we need to talk about Let's get to that right now, Dre. Let's just move on to that. Does that sound good? So
sales predictions.
Sales predictions. We want to get you chat as well. If you guys are listening to this podcast on audio platforms, or if you're watching right now on the stream, in audio platforms and stream, there'll be places for you guys to go ahead and leave your comments here. What do you guys think? And Drip, I'll ask you specifically. Where do you think Tears of the Kingdom is gonna? Let's start with this. First week sales. Give us a number. We'll do first week, first month, first year, and we'll stop it there. What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
First week?
First week.
You're going to think I'm crazy.
Well, since you said that.
I think it's going to sell probably 10 to 12.
10 to 12 million.
No. No. Million? No. Hang on.
You good? Do you want some reference? You want some reference? Drip? You good over there?
No. Yeah, I'm good. 30. Well, what's Breath of the Wild at? 30?
Lifetime sales.
30. 29, right?
29.8.
Let's sell 10.
So here's some reference.
Yeah, 10
The
million.
fastest Nintendo Switch game ever sold in the first week, and I believe they did it within a weekend, was Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Do you know what that number sold?
In a weekend?
In a week. It was for the week,
Okay,
but,
that's
but
Pokemon,
it was.
though.
Do you want to know the answer to that question? It might change your answer. 10 million. The fastest selling Nintendo Switch game in a week, but that was over the weekend.
Do you think there's not... I mean, I know it's not Pokemon, but I think it'll hit, 9, 10.
No.
Maybe not 11.
You still think that. You say it's no Pokemon, but then you say it's Pokemon.
I think that's going to be where it's going to hit hard, honestly. I think
it will hit hard the most from the first week. I think the first week will tell a lot. But I think you underestimate the amount of people who are iffy on this game because of the price tag. There's still a lot of people out there who are like, I'm not going to spend. I was in a record store, and I was actually, believe it or not, I found Bolero. Do you know what Bolero is?
What is it?
Bolero. Never heard that piece of music? It's not an artist. It's a piece of music.
No.
So Bolero, we can look up Bolero later. But I found Bolero on vinyl. I picked it up, and actually in the store, the guy noticed my shirt. I was wearing the Beatles shirt. Oh, the Beetle, that Beetle. But anyway,
okay, yeah.
So he saw my Zelda shirt, and it was like, oh, cool. And I asked him how he felt about Tears of the Kingdom. Is he gonna get it? He's like, I do think it's cool, but I'm actually gonna wait for a sale. I forget what he said. Either wait for a sale or just wait. He's on the fence to actually get the game because of the price. So I'm like, wow, you like Zelda, but you're on the fence because of $10 extra. So we can't underestimate that little factoid that people are actually not going to buy this game on release day or release week for that matter because of the game's, extra price.
Okay. That's true. I wonder what. Do we have pre-sale numbers? Like any
I did look and I could not find anything. I'm not the best of researcher, but couldn't find it. All I have here is this. I'll show it on screen now, and for you guys, audio will say it. We have top selling sales all time Nintendo Switch games. So obviously number one is Mario Kart.
8's up to 53,
and this is just the Switch sales. 53 million copies. Animal Crossing is number 2, 42 million. And at least half of that was in 2020 in those first few weeks or months. Super Smash is next, number 3 at 31. Breath of the Wild is number 4, 29. And then it wraps up top 5 with Pokemon Sword and Shield at 25. And a notable mention here, at number 7 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. A game that just came out less than a year ago is already just a few million behind its predecessor.
I'm still saying 10.
And that was the fastest selling game in Nintendo history in terms of, initial release. That's really impressive. I don't think Breath of the Wild is going to come.
Tears of the Kingdom.
I always said didn't come close. I think it will come close. I think it will be
to 10 million.
To 10 million. I think it's gonna be real
first
close.
Week.
I think we get 7.5 million first week, and then by the first month we've surpassed 15. I think first month sales might be 15. After reviews coming out, people have plenty of time to see this game.
That's going to be interesting. That's what's going to be interesting is once... Well, the reviews come out tomorrow morning. We're going to have reviews tomorrow morning.
That is true. Well, but Drip, gotta remember, not everybody's us. It's gonna take people lots of time.
Yeah,
that's why I say a month. By a month, we'll get to 15. But I think the first week is, that's being generous. I think it's gonna be 7.5.
First weeks, you say 7.5?
Yeah.
You're probably going to be closer than I am.
It's not 10. I'll tell you that.
I would like it. I just would like it. If
it's 10, I'll be shocked in a good way. I'll be shocked in a good way.
I mean, I think it can do, dude.
Of course, I think it can. I think it can
totally
do it too. 7.5 is a very generous number, and 10 is just a little bit kind of outrageous. But it could be outrageous. It could be an outrageous number. It could be 10. It could be more than 10. We could be talking 12 in the first week if it's like what we expect. If the hype of the game that lives up to the sales, I mean, it could be 12 to 15 in the first week. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I really don't. Being realistic about it, maybe 2 weeks we get to 10, and then by the month we get to 15. And then by this time next year, a whole year after the game's been out, I'm thinking we're gonna get right up next to like the top. Obviously top 10. Obviously top 10.
Yeah,
we might even hit top. We might even crack the top 5. Around 25 million.
I want to bring this up. Switch Corner in the chat says Tears of the Kingdom has more pre-orders than Breath of the Wild did. There's a reason for that, but that's also pretty strong for Tears of the Kingdom. One thing, Breath of the Wild, the Switch didn't have the install base that it has now.
No.
Tears of the Kingdom has that on its side. And Breath of the Wild being where it's at on this list, you know, a lot of people have played this game. It wasn't for everybody. Not everybody's going to come back and buy Tears of the Kingdom, but the install base right now is definitely going to help Tears of the Kingdom out when it comes to sale. What did Breath of the Wild do in the first week?
I have no idea.
I know at one point they were selling more copies of Breath of the Wild than they were selling Nintendo Switches.
In my research, I did see that. I saw that.
That's wild.
Yeah, more copies.
How does that even happen? What are you doing with them all? I mean, I guess you buy the special edition.
I don't know. People buying double. I mean, my guess is people buying digital and physical. That's my guess. That's the bulk of those skewed numbers would be. I got this physically, but I don't want to leave my couch. You know, even within the first year of the Switch, people were thinking that. So, yeah, I don't think 7.5 million is outrageous. I don't think 10 is. I think 10 is outrageous, but it's possible that it's an outrageous number. So, 7.5
you broke me for a minute there. I lost all train of thought with number. Well, you know what I was doing? I was sitting there thinking like,
I was worried for. I was like, dude, is something going on? Like, you good?
I don't know why. I was like, I was thinking. Nintendo Switch. I was like, wait a minute, those numbers aren't right. Hold on a second. I was like, okay, hold on. I got back on track with it. But yeah, I know it's high. I know it's definitely high.
Alex, it is a solid. Breath of the Wild sold 1.49 million in week 1, and I will explain that number because everyone may think that's a really low number. I will explain that number. There wasn't as many Switches. Yeah,
that's like exactly literally it. The install base was not there.
Exactly, and to put it even more layman terms than that. Less people, less Switches. Overall, 2017 was a different environment for the Switch than 2023. Night and day difference.
Oh, yeah. Completely.
Like, we're talking, there was only a few million Switches out there. And now there's over 100 million, 150 million or something like that. Some crazy number.
Well, and that's a crazy thing, too. When you think about it, like, what the hell were you playing? We talked about this last week. Snipper clips. Like, there wasn't anything to play, man. You played Fast RMX, which that actually was a cool game. Breath of the Wild. What else is out? There wasn't a whole lot of stuff out. I mean, it was Breath of the Wild or
the game, the ice and the Joy-Cons and 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, because everybody wanted that for $50.
Yeah, there was the answer is there was nothing. There was nothing but Breath of the Wild to play. I mean, those who had a Switch at the time,
even seeing that, like
Breath
first week, that's wild.
No, we're gonna surpass that. Like I said,
Bomberman. Oh, did I forget about Bomberman? You're right.
Yeah, I think 7 drip. Let's wind it back in now. We're not broken anymore. 7.5 million. I think that is
10.
That's you're going 10. That's literally 10 times better than Breath of the Wild. I think that's insane, but it's possible.
I think it'll fall off. It'll fall off.
Of course, it would sell. It would sell 40 mil. If it would sell 50 million, if it didn't tail off, of course it would. It's going to tail off. I just don't think it's gonna. I think the tail's a little bit shorter than you think it is, but I would not be surprised if we get 10. I agree. I think it's gonna be 7.5, but I will say that your 10 is a likely number. It's just as likely as
it's possible.
It's a possible. That's what I mean. It's a possible, not likely. It's a possible number. Just like 7 is possible. Let's be. It may be like 5. We may come back next week, or I guess like week and a half from now, whenever we do next episode.
No way.
And when we're talking about sales, and we could go, oh yeah, 5 million, good showing, but not what we thought it was. And
absolutely, I don't see that. I think that is crazy.
I don't think it's crazy because here's why, Drip. People, I'm telling you, people need to see this game. They need to see this game. And remember, let's not forget all the marketing that they didn't do, that I was right about, that they didn't do a lot of marketing on purpose.
It's so weird because they're just doing it at the last minute now. Like
they don't need to sell this game
weird.
Like they don't need to sell this game like gangbusters off the bat. They just need to. They want to keep they preserve Zelda because Zelda's a different beast than any other project that they have, any other franchise that they have. So they're trying to preserve that story for everybody as close to release as they possibly can. And that's the sacrifice is people who are normies, not us, not mega fans, who are not going to buy this game immediately go, I need to see more. So they don't buy it in the first week. They wait a couple weeks to a month to actually pick up their copy. That's why I think 5 million is that's the most likely number. I think 5 million is 5 times more, about 3.5 to 5 times more higher than their Breath of the Wild week 1 sales. That's not nothing, dude. That's 5 times more than Breath of the Wild. And it gives people time to actually see this game like they need. They need the time, and after a month, we may be singing a different tone, man.
Gee.
We could be going 15 million in a month. Like we could be doing that. So don't when we get that 5 next week, don't think that's a failure. Just wait a month and go 15.
I don't care. I'll have my copy. You know? I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Well,
but I'm telling you right now,
if it's 5,
you say
we're
what?
talking.
You say 7.5?
Yeah, 7.5.
I'm saying 10. I'm saying 10.
All right. Fair enough, Drip.
I think it's going to do 10.
Yeah, so chat, you got. I'll put this comment into the audio platforms, and obviously you guys in the chat can say something. Leave a comment on this video if you're watching this after the fact. Any way you can leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, what you think this game's going to do in the first week. Leave your first week, leave your first month, and then first year. Leave all 3 of those in the comments.
Okay, so let's do this. let's cut this. You know, we could go month, 2 months, whatever. When the dust settles and it's all done, and we've moved on.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where is this going to be? Will it beat Breath of the Wild?
That really depends on the Switch's life. That depends highly on the Switch's life, and I tend to believe that it will come very close, but it will not surpass Breath of the Wild. That 30 million.
Wow. This is crazy.
What?
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. For me, the magic number is 25 million. That's my magic number.
What's Breath of the Wild?
When it's all said and done, 29. And that's going to keep going. Those sales will get even more.
Well, are those updated yet? Did they do the whole thing? Is that updated?
That's the most updated we have. I can't tell you.
Okay, well, no, that's like recently updated. They just had a investors meeting or whatever, like yesterday.
That's the most recent that we have.
That's updated. Okay, 25.
25. And that's about a year and a half of Switch. I think we're getting a new Switch announcement next year, and we'll actually have it the year after, like I said last week. So I think that's in that year and a half.
Does it count if it's repackaged and put on this new thing?
No, it doesn't. Just like we're not counting those do not include the Wii U sales, right?
Okay.
Those 29. So it's just like the same thing. This will not count unless it's a Switch Pro. And not a Switch 2, right? Just a higher powered current generation Switch. Unless it's that, it won't count because it'll be a next gen console.
All right, 25. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'll meet you right there. I'll go with that.
Yeah,
I think I agree. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna beat Breath of the Wild. It doesn't have. You're right. It doesn't have the time.
It doesn't have the time.
It doesn't have the time, and that's the thing. Think about this. Yeah, maybe there's a lot of people who won't pick it up on release day, release week, like you're saying, and we get that tail and we see all these other sales come in and stuff. There's not going to be that many people who are like, well, you know what? 6 months later, I've decided I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's going to be somebody who just bought a Switch. Those sales are declining. They said that in the investors meeting too. They sales are declining, they're expecting them to keep declining, which is, I mean, obvious, you know, where we're at. But you're right. It's still going to sell. It's going to sell. They're still going to sell Switches. It's not like nobody's ever going to buy a Switch again. And this is the biggest, baddest game on the Switch right now. And as far as we know, this is what's next. We don't know. I'm going to make a video about it, though.
You will.
I can't wait.
You will indeed.
I even wrote it on my board yesterday. So.
All right, so dude, let's get on to the what we talked about in toiled teas.
Toiled.
God, what's wrong with me? I'm just too excited. I can't handle myself.
That's fine. I broke too, dude. It's totally cool.
I broke really early on. It was my fault.
You started talking millions of dollars, and I was like,
So, I will just say it again. Dungeons. Nintendo. I don't have the article.
Yes! Woo! Dungeons, baby!
I'm embarrassed of your existence.
Woo! Yes!
All right, so let's get down to the facts here. So let's go ahead. I have a little article here. I should have proofread this beforehand and make sure like I have like what I need to pull up here. But so here's an article from The Verge. Thanks to The Verge for supplying the article. Here's one of the first questions that was asked. We've only discussed the skies, but does this title? But this title has its dungeons too, right? That was asked by the reporter. How you pronounce that? Fuyabashi.
Sure. Hey man, have fun. Not trying.
Fuyabashi says yes. We haven't talked about the dungeons yet. They've changed from the previous game. That's a big, in my logic here, that's a big sentence. They've changed from the previous game. For example, and we move on. For example, there is a dungeon that connects directly from Hyrule's surface. If you dive from the sky straight into the dungeon, you'll trigger an event. We think this will be a new experience that wasn't possible in the previous game. And I mean, we could keep reading this article more and more, and we'd spend a half hour talking about this article.
That's so exciting.
But that's enough. That's enough ammo right there to kind of get this conversation
God,
started.
that's crazy, man. I'm so excited.
So everybody who listens to this podcast, you already know Drip, and Drip is the kind of guy who gets way too excited for the smallest of things and gets disappointed when they don't happen. And I'm saying you take the small information that we're given and run with it a mile. It's like that's a 2-second walk that you took for a 1 month
absolutely not.
mile.
No way am I letting you rain on this parade.
I'm not
We have dungeons.
raining on parades. I'm reading and I'm explaining.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read something. Let me go ahead and read another little thing from there.
Sure, go ahead.
This time the dungeons are huge, and this is the thing I'm most happy about. And each carry their own regional look and feel.
Yeah, no,
how many
totally.
times I've been talking about how I want dungeons back. Remember how they, you go to there's the snow. Like I wanted it back. We got it. And
are
then
you happy
to finish
because
that
there
up,
drip,
like traditional Legend of Zelda games. They are comparing these dungeons. They also said they're huge in comparison to what the Divine Beasts were, which that's
those are big,
good.
but not very big.
They're themed. They're area themed, like traditional Legend of Zelda games. What more do you want? What more do you want?
I'm actually quite pleased with all this. I'm very happy to hear all this, but here's my issue of where you guys or who think like you, Drip, who are gonna take this, right? You're taking this and going, dungeons are back, baby, they're gonna be bigger and better than ever, and it's gonna be just like the old games. And you're taking words out of
like
order and
quote.
Rearranging them in your own mind to make.
I didn't. I read that. That's a quote. I'll read it again if you want me to.
Sure, go ahead and read it again.
This time, the dungeons are huge and each carry their own regional look and feel, just like traditional Legend of Zelda games.
So, okay, so let's dissect that. So what they're saying there, Drip, is that the dungeons in this game, Tears of the Kingdom, are bigger than Breath of the Wild, and they are regional.
And they're of the style.
They're regional like original games. Okay, but here's this. I'll read you another sentence that I read a second ago. Here's a quote. They've changed from the previous game. That sentence right there is what is the exact contradictory to what you're thinking. Dungeons
I
are
don't
in.
see how.
Listen,
I don't see
listen to
how.
me. Listen to me. Dungeons are in Tears of the Kingdom. We both can agree on that. It's clear as day. Dungeons are in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. That's
But
what they made the dungeons into. Yes.
All of us Zelda fans would agree that dungeons were not in Breath of the Wild, right?
I mean, you had to go into it and do a thing. It was.
They were not
in
there.
a sense.
They were not in Breath of the Wild, right? They were in their essence was there, but they were not actually there, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Like,
consider
Nintendo
those
has with that
dungeons,
sentence
no.
with that sentence Nintendo has confirmed that their belief system is that dungeons were in this game, and comparing all of these comments you're getting so excited for, they're just comparing them from Breath of the Wild, the Dungeons and Tears Kingdom, to Breath of the Wild.
But
That's
not.
not
They
a.
said
It's a
in
very
original
low. It's a
Zelda
very
games.
low bar. It's a very low bar.
I mean, I wasn't a huge
dungeon-
fan of the Divine Beast, but I don't know if I would call that a very low bar. They said they're huge. Here's what I want to know. We talked about this earlier.
Listen, right. So I don't want to get anybody misconstrued because you're misconstruing me. They are in there, and they are bigger, and they have regions just like Tears of the Kingdom. This is what we know. What we don't know is if it's going to be a complete throwback to old Zelda dungeons.
I don't think it's going to be a complete throwback. I don't need that. I want puzzles, things to do, figure out, open doors, go through here, do this, and I want a big area to do it, not a little Divine Beast. And I want it. I do, yeah.
Well, yeah,
I want to be able to beat it because it's in the snow. You need to do this or that. Like, yeah,
and I think we're getting that. I think we're getting that.
I'm excited
we're
about that. More importantly than any of that, how many of those dungeon areas that I said in that video like a year ago, 2 years ago at this point, how many am I getting right? Probably
I don't know.
Probably none.
Probably none, but
probably
I mean,
none.
You at least got one of your wishes come true. Excuse me.
Maybe. We don't know if that's the Arbiter's grounds. We don't know for sure.
Let me say what I was going to say. Don't insert my words for me. What you got right, Drip, is that there will be regions of dungeons. That's it confirmed. Like, one of your points was that, I want dungeons and I want to go to this area and there'd be a dungeon. Like,
that's what we talked about in that video.
Yeah,
like
you're getting that. You may not get exactly Arbiter grounds, but you're getting we're getting a sandy dungeon. We're getting a sandy dungeon.
Oh no, we're gonna get another water temple or something, dude.
We're gonna get another water temple.
No!
There has to be swimming mechanics somewhere in this game. They have to because there's gonna be
like underwater.
There has to be.
Yeah, we haven't seen. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow night.
Maybe we will. Although I don't think that may be a little too much. It's not story spoilers, but it might be a little too much.
Game mechanics, though. I mean, if they can just show us like, oh, it's swimmy. Who knows? Maybe we'll see like the first area of like a first dungeon or something.
They might show Link go get a rupee at the bottom of a lake or something. They might show something like that.
Okay, yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting too. What will they show tomorrow of this? Now that it's kind of weird that they told us today, yeah, there's dungeons. And then we have this all coming up tomorrow. Like, will we see a glimpse inside one of these places? If we do, it'll be the first
one. It's possible.
But
it's possible.
I think it's possible. I would like to see it.
I would like to see it too.
What did I say? I think I said the first dungeon in this game would be at Zora's Domain in the video. Made sense to me.
Well, okay, so we know we're getting dungeons, Derp. Are we getting linear dungeons?
I don't think so. Here's why I don't think so. Because the way that they described it, things that you're saying, context clues from how they're saying this, and they've not shown us that they're going to be closing things off. It looks like that the one thing they said where you fall from the sky and it will trigger an event.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the same thing as like, the first time you walk into an area where there's a divine beast and like the cutscene starts.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it's probably going to work. You're going to come up to this place and it's just going to be like, oh, cutscene, something's happening.
Yes. They did say somewhere in here, I think I'd even read it. They said something to the fact that they'll trigger something. So that that's
when you fall, it'll
happen.
Trigger an event is what they call it.
Yeah.
In my head, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah, a cutscene, but
or like maybe a living cutscene where you can kind of move around a little bit. I'm sure something to that effect.
I don't know. It may be something bigger. I mean, it may be something.
Maybe we don't know, and that's the beauty of it. I love that.
Well, no, actually, let's go a little further with that because we're both wrong. Because I want to finish that quote because we didn't.
Okay.
You dive straight from the sky into the dungeon, you'll trigger an event. We think this will be a new experience that wasn't possible in the previous game.
I wonder what that means.
I don't know. That is cryptic as fuck.
That's the idea.
I know, but I don't know. So probably not a cutscene. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's going to trigger an event.
Cool.
So
it's a
whatever that event is,
block party. It's a block party. We're all invited.
Disco balls start falling out of the sky. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Party. Now, I don't know, but I mean, I feel like we're going to see a little bit of this tomorrow. I feel like the reason we got that today is because we're going to see just some of it tomorrow. Just the inside.
I'd be excited, and that's a good point to bring up this strip. If you guys are still listening in this episode, you're probably fans of us, and you should know that tomorrow night in our Discord, as of listening to this podcast, it's probably going to be tonight for you guys. If this is going to be on Thursday night, going into Friday morning, we'll be having a Discord event. If you guys want to hang out with Drip and I and the rest of the community, we'll be hanging out in the Discord. The link's down below to Drip's Discord. We got a little Discord event going on. We're going to be hanging out, talking Tears of the Kingdom, talking about how excited we are. Probably
it's like
showing
a slumber
off
party, really.
It's a little slumber party. Wait, and then when Nintendo starts their stream of showing off the game, we'll play that for you guys in Discord. You can not watch it if you don't want to watch it. That's cool too. But we'll be hanging and talking. It'll be background noise, really, is what it'll end up being, because we'll be talking with each other about the game and what we're excited for and everything. So make sure to hop that link down below. Hop in that Discord so we can chillax with each other. And also, it's a fun time in Discord. If you guys didn't know, we chat with each other. It's fun on a daily basis. Fun. It's like our stream chat, but all the time, whenever we feel like it, just talking to each other, sharing articles and all that. Links are available in Discord. That's fun, not in chat. Yeah, it's a good time. Make sure to hop out. Hopefully, if you guys are listening to this, and there's still time for you on Thursday night, that'd be the 11th, obviously. Hang out with us. It'll be a good time. Going back to the episode, Drip. We pretty much got everything kind of covered here, Drip. I mean, anything else about dungeons you kind of want to say? And I want to address this real fast before you answer your question. I'm sorry, Drip. I was called a Debbie Downer. I feel hurt about that. Okay. Would I be a Debbie Downer if I was if a kid is watching football for the first time and sees like an interception or a fumble and like thinks the kid just celebrated, like the team just won the whole freaking game. The game's over, Dad. They won. They got a fumble recovery. It's over, because that's the only rule he understands. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, well, hold on, son. Give me a second. Like, here's the rules of this sport. He didn't win. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but this is not like the best thing ever. And that's kind of my attitude on a lot of things. Is that, Drip, you get way too excited, and I gotta reel you back.
Here's my attitude on it.
Reel you back.
You celebrate, little man. You celebrate. Have a good time. Did you like that? Did you enjoy that? I'm not telling the kid
not to celebrate.
Have a good time.
I'm not telling. It's all about giving you enough information. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
All I need is one word, and I got it.
You got it.
It's dungeons.
You got it. You've been saying it for a while. You've been saying it for a long time. Like, all I need to know now is dungeons.
Dungeons. That's it. Tell me. Say the word. And they did it. I'm good.
They did it. They did do it.
Don't take this from me, Geeb. Don't take this from me.
I'm not taking anything from you.
This is a win. We just won the game.
If the facts make you upset,
I don't care if it was a field goal or a fumble or whatever.
Yeah.
We just won the game. Let me have this. Let me have this victory.
We won the game as soon as we got the announcement. We won the game. We already knew it was going to be a fantastic game, and now we're confirmed.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna
okay,
be
one last thing before we go into the rest of this.
Yeah.
How many?
That's a good question. I would say if we're going back to dungeons and they're comparing it to the original games, I see no reason to believe that it will be more. I won't give a number. I'll say it's more than the previous game.
More than 4.
I think we're going to get at least 6, and then there's going to be some sort of there's got to be something happening in the castle. The castle is a dungeon. I think the castle is a dungeon. I think we can bet on that. It's the only thing we know for a fact.
Yeah, that's the place you're going in the end, clearly. Obviously, that's the end. That's the end.
I think it'll be like Breath of the Wild, where the end game happens in the last dungeon.
Ooh, I just had an idea. Okay, so they said it's regional.
Yeah.
How many regions are there? There's not going to be one in every region.
There's at least 4.
That was more than that.
Well, I say that because the divine beasts.
I'm talking about like the actual map, the regions. There's
100 million. The map is huge.
No, there's not that many.
There's snowy. There's icy.
7?
I'm sorry. There's snowy. There's beachy.
No, I'm talking about the actual regions, like where the places are called.
Are they called? What do you mean? Is there? It's Hyrule. That's the only region I know. The region of Hyrule.
I'm gonna find this.
You're gonna find it probably in the after show, or while we're doing our tier list, which we're about to do right now. Except for
do it. I got it right now.
Okay,
locations. Akala region, Central Hyrule, Dueling Peaks. So there's Farron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
This is why everyone look at Drip right now, or if you're listening, just think about how hard Drip is thinking right now.
It's very hard. I'm just trying to look at Nehru.
You're just trying to look, and
I say 7.
7. Okay, yeah, good guess. Okay,
and the castle.
Yeah,
so 8 total.
That'd be good. We could have regional dungeons in that aspect. Sure. Okay, Drip. Time for the draft. Everybody, are we ready? We're doing another draft for you guys, and this is happening on the actual episode, Drip. Or are we doing it in the after show?
Actual episode.
Right now, guys, we're drafting a team. Right now, everybody, it's the 2023 Flag Football Zelda Draft
of Links.
So, guys, the way this is going to work is Drip and I can be drafting 6 players. This is the wrong screen. Drip and I can be drafting 6 players, and all of the players are Link. All of the different variations of Link from all throughout different Zelda games. And Drip and I are going to have to pick a team. So the positions are 2 wide receivers, 2 linemen, 1's a tight end, a quarterback, and a running back. That's the team. Okay? So we have a bunch of Links to choose from. If you need a refresher of all the games, there's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, etc. Okay,
there's lots of extras here,
and there's lots of extras. There's lots of extras, and we'll get there. I know for a fact I'm drafting one of the extras. I'm very excited to draft this one. It might be my first pick. I don't know. But Drip, I think it's your turn. I'll let you. Actually, no, Drip. You know what, Drip? It's my turn to go first this time.
I won the last draft, so yeah, that's how the draft works.
Exactly. I'm the
worst
loser.
Teams go
That's
first.
Right. So I'm gonna draft my flag football team here. I'm gonna draft my very first person. I got to think about it here for a second. I'm going to we have to make fast choices though when we're doing this, honestly. So the first pick, the first pick, we forgot about the timer. The first pick of the flag football Link draft. My first selection is going. I'm getting my boy Wolf Link is my first selection off the board.
That's not Wolf Link. That's not Wolf Link. That's the other one. That's the guy.
There, Wolf Link.
There you go. Okay, Wolf Link. What position is he playing?
We'll get there in a minute. I don't want to get so my cards. Let's go and draft these teams first. What's your first pick, Drip?
Well, I'll tell you who I'm picking. I'll tell you why I'm picking him. We're doing running backs, right? How many?
Just one. 3 skill positions. Wide receiver.
I'm getting my running back first, and I am going with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Link.
Ooh.
Right there. I need the fast guy. He runs
Hyrule
so fast
Warriors
in that game.
He does run really. That's a great pick, Drip. I think that's
fast.
A solid pick. He's also probably one of the most aggressive guys.
He is.
Links of all the
He's a little
Links.
beast is what he is. That's my running back. That's my guy.
He's a little beast.
He will move that rock up the field.
All right.
No problem.
The pick is in, Drip. With the third selection of the Drip and Geeb draft of the Fantasy Links, I'll say a different name every time. I'm going to go ahead and pick. Which one's dark and shadow? I don't understand. Which one's which here? I'm going to drive this Link, the dark mystic shadow Link from Twilight Princess.
Okay.
And I'll reveal my cards later of why I chose that Link. Drip, it is your turn to pick the very next Drip. Very next Link.
We need a quarterback, right?
Lots of good. You do need a quarterback. There's lots of good choices on the board.
I tell you who I'm going to go with for my quarterback.
Who are you going to go with, Drip?
I'm going to go with the OG. The guy who started it all. Skyward Sword Link.
Oh, shit. Drip,
He's been around the longest. He's got the knowledge. He knows what he needs to do. He's been here before. There is no situation that is too much for him to handle.
That's a really solid pick, Drip. Honestly, God, that was gonna be my next pick. So I'm gonna have to go in. I'm gonna pick my quarterback now for my third overall pick.
Okay.
But so my the pick is in, Drip. And with the next pick of this draft, it is the 5th pick. Is this the guy? Is it the right guy? Link. I'm so bad with these. What's their names? The old wise.
The hero.
Link,
yeah.
The hero
The guy teaches you all the moves in
yes,
Twilight Princess.
the hero. I'm choosing the hero Link as my quarterback of my team. He is the oldest, literally. He teaches Twilight Princess Link all that needs to be taught.
Right, but mine is before him.
That's a good point, Drip. That's a good point. Different timelines, though.
He's an OG, though. He's an OG.
Unfair.
I'll give it to you. Good pick. It's a good pick.
It's a good pick. All right.
Good pick. And he's big. That's a big quarterback.
He might end up. Listen, I might pick another Link who could be a better quarterback. That's why I'm not picking my positions quite yet. We're going for best available.
All right. I'm going to get a running back.
Okay.
And I know who I'm going to get. I'm going to get somebody who's slippery, somebody who can really just, get through the whole. He can find the seams. He's going to be able to get through. I'm going to go with a Link Between Worlds Link.
A Link Between Worlds Link is a solid
because he can literally flatten himself. I mean, this guy's going to get through any seam. A touchdown is almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to try to take his flag. You can't. It's gone. It's flat. Can't even find it. It's behind him.
Yeah. It's a good pick, Drip. It's a good pick. The pick is in for me, though. Because with the next pick, this will be the 7th pick of the Drip and Geeb draft, I am selecting Ravio. Ravio is being selected to my team, and here's why. I'm very excited to pick him. Is the guy
I like that.
He's a jack of all trades, man. He's got it all. He's mischievous. He's deceitful. He tells the truth. He lies. He gets his way. He's a businessman. Let me tell you, he rents you. You got to rent that stuff in the Link Between Worlds. He's a very crafty guy. I think he'd make a perfect skill position guy on my team. So that's what I'm going with. Ravio.
All right. Geeb, the pick is in.
Pick is in.
Okay. What other positions did you say we needed to get?
3 skill positions, a quarterback, and 2 linemen.
Okay, I'm gonna go with one of my linemen right now. Somebody who is
reminder that the lineman also needs to be a tight end. So there's a guy who basically hikes the ball and then a tight end.
Perfect. We're going with Fierce Deity Link.
Would that be this one right here?
That would be over one over.
This guy right here?
No, other way.
This guy, right Fierce Deity Link. So I have not played.
He's a beast.
Which game is that?
He's an absolute animal. That is Majora's Mask.
I didn't play that one.
Absolute animal right there. Absolute animal.
Solid pick, Drip. That's a very solid pick. I'm kind of surprised you didn't pick this one. So for my second to last pick, the pick is in. I'm picking Goron. Link is being selected for me.
I almost did, but I went with more speed than size, which you're probably gonna. You got
to defend the quarterback no matter what's going on here. You need a blocker to get down the field. You need somebody to guard the quarterback, especially. He's the biggest Link of all of them. He's a Goron.
Geeb,
yeah,
the pick is in. I will be selecting my final wide receiver.
All right.
And I will be taking Breath of the Wild Link.
Oh, sneaky pick at the end of the board.
I don't think I need to give any other reason. I think the man speaks for himself. Oh, actually, he doesn't, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. All right, so I got to get my pick here. I got to really think about this because there's not too many selections that I really know exactly who, but there's one person who I know who is there. I mean, there's a couple. I'll just say we got Minish Cap Link still on the board. We got Majora's Mask Link still on the board. We got all the 4 Swords Links. That's funny that they're there. I'm not going to pick them, though. Oh, man. With the final pick, who is this Link? I'm not sure who that one is. Oh, wait. That's Ravio, I think. In disguise. Out of disguise. The Drip, the pick is in. I was lying, and the pick is not actually in. With the final pick of my team in this draft, I'm going to be selecting Hail Mary, full of grace. I'm picking Ocarina of Time Link. He's got to be done. It's got to be done.
It's a good one.
It's got to be done. I mean, He's the adult Link, the adult Ocarina of Time Link. I have his amiibo now. It's in my possession. I love it very much. I don't know why. I gotta go with it. He's on the board. I gotta pick him up. Got going best available is what I'm going for.
All right. God, this is tough. I got 2 on the board right now. I'm trying to decide between. It's just I need another lineman is what I need.
Yeah.
And I know where I can go. I know where I can get solid minutes. I see it. But I'm not sure if I want to go there. If I want to trust this other guy to protect Skyward Sword Link.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. The pick is in. I got to take him. He's a fan favorite. He's my favorite. And you know what? I think he can take care of protecting Skyward Sword Link. It's Twilight Princess Link.
Oh, he's on the board. He's taken off the board now with your final pick. Is he your lineman there?
He's got to be. Who
All
else?
Right. Well,
I've got him and Fierce Deities Link on the line.
It's a solid pick, Drip. It's a solid pick. Here's a last look at our picks here. Let's go ahead and range them from my position. I'll let you think about it, Drip, and I'll go first so you can think about it. So starting off, my quarterback of my team. I'm gonna start. Actually, we'll start with what I know for sure. We got a lineman here. He's gonna hike the ball. He's gonna protect the quarterback. That is gonna be the Goron Link. You gotta choose that guy to block. Get a good block on. And for the second lineman, I'm gonna go ahead and choose the Ocarina of Time Link because that second tight end or that second position is also a tight end. So he's gonna be a skill guy, but he's also big and bulky enough that he can go ahead and get some blocks down too. Like
Okay,
the Zacharias of the team.
I like that.
For my running back, obviously, he's my first overall pick. Wolf Link is going to be the running back of the team.
That's fair. He's
my
quick.
2 skill positions. Let's go with Ravio and Dark Link from Twilight Princess. Both of those guys will be my 2 skill wide receiver skill positions. Okay. Ravio is a jack of all trades. Mischievous Dark Link. He can't see him half the time. He's dark. So he's out there gonna be catching balls. Got the skills. And my quarterback, my team you already know, is the OG.
He's wise. And that's what you need at the quarterback position. That's what you need.
Tom Brady won many Super Bowls as a 40-year-old man. Okay,
that's true. That's so true. That is so true.
All right, Link, it's your turn to go ahead and. All
right, so my lineman, my straight up lineman, is going to be Fierce Deity Link. I'm going to put him there. I mean, dude's an animal. You know, he may not win every battle right
He's
there.
A defensive end. You know, maybe not center, but defensive end.
He's not going to win every battle there, but he'll win some.
Yeah.
And then you said the other one's got to be a tight end too, right?
It doesn't have to be. It's your choice. It's your choice.
And I'm gonna put that. Yeah, I'm gonna put that with Twilight Princess Link. Yeah, he's tight end. It's fine. And then running back, he's already there.
Hyrule Warriors Link.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Age of Calamity.
Yes, right there. What do we got here? What's this?
Skyward Sword, Link Between Worlds.
No. What's the position you have? What's the next position?
My 2 skills.
Okay, yeah, running back. No. I'm sorry.
Wide receivers.
Wide receivers. Yeah, we got Link Between Worlds, Link.
Yep.
Wide receiver and Breath of the Wild Link, wide receiver.
Solid pick, man. And then that leaves you with Skyward Sword.
Is the OG, the oldest of them all, the wisest of them all, the one who's been there since day one, leading the team out of the tunnel.
What's his name?
Skyward Sword Link. They're all named Link.
I needed his. I need to press the button again. I need an excuse. So there we go, guys. This is our matchup here. We'll have the chat decide if who won, and the YouTube comments down below. So actually, I'll switch the screen here. Go over here. So there you have it, guys. There's our teams. I'll let you guys in the chat down below in the comment section decide who wins this battle. I feel like I got a pretty good case for myself. Drip, I feel like you probably have a good feeling about your team. How do you feel about your team?
Strong.
I'm
a little concerned about my line. I'll tell you that. I'm a little concerned about my line.
You should be.
But I have I've got real players in the backfield though.
You do. You got some solid picks. Yeah. There it is. There's the draft. Thanks, guys. All right, and with this, guys, this is going to be the end of the episode as well. We'll hang out in the after show. Sorry for my rookie mistake a minute ago. I literally didn't know how to stop that music. I had to
Yeah, that's going to convert to video really well, Geeb.
I'm sorry.
Gosh.
Listen, live producing is hard. It's a hard job.
Dang it.
You're trying to be the host and a live producer. It's hard. Yeah. But guys, thanks for listening to this podcast. Those of you guys in the stream, stick around. We'll be hanging out with you guys in the after show. Those of you listening on audio platforms, make sure to check out the VOD. If you have if you missed any episode, make sure to check it out there. And we'll see you guys next week.
Later.